I'm David.
And I'm Deanna.
And we are the Lorimers. We always wanted to have a strong family life and both wanted to have children.
Becoming a mom in the first place was my dream. It's what I prayed for, it's what I longed for, it's what I dreamed about. But 4 years after getting married, we learned that we were infertile. To get that kind of a diagnosis, that was devastating.
Having the dream of having children and then that's not going to be an option was a very difficult walk and a very difficult journey. So we were driving home, we stopped I think at a park so that we could just cry.
So we started moving towards adoption, and eventually we landed with embryo adoption. It was such a good balance because I was able to be pregnant and they're actually adopted. And so it was kind of the best of both worlds.
We're pregnant on the first cycle and super excited that this dream is now coming true. And then all of a sudden it was like this huge crisis.
I did not know what was going on. I ended up at the hospital.
That was very scary. We're in there thinking this is all kind of routine, and then all of a sudden it was like medicines, treatment, transfer to UK.
They said, you're in preterm labor.
Like I didn't know how to process. You completely have no control anymore. We would do hours and hours of active labor, and then they would get everything stopped, and then we might have a day where it was good, and then do this all over again.
But there was also a glimmer of hope. When he was finally born, I remember looking at him in the NICU, I think it was, and just thought, he's ours. We get to take him home and we can go do things with him. Like our next vacation, he's coming along with us, and that was really exciting. But I mean, we were an hour and a half from home. To drive back and forth every day to get a hotel for 6 weeks would have been extremely expensive.
Our son was in the NICU and we had nowhere to stay.
I just went to the chapel and cried. Like I couldn't even think to form a prayer. The social worker from the hospital had come by and brought up the option of Ronald McDonald House. And I remember my mind was racing. I was already kind of in a fog just with everything that had been going on. I was already severely lacking sleep. My father-in-law had come down and he said, I'll take you over. We'll go tour the house. It was just he and I. It was just he and I when we came to Ronald McDonald House the first time. Sorry. I was expecting a roof over our heads. I was not expecting anything else. And I remember just how overwhelmed I was. It was so beyond anything I was imagining or even hoping for. We went from like, what are we going to do? To like, all of the sudden, 100 things that we were worried about was taken care of all at one place. And there's a baby blanket. It's little things, but in emergencies, little things matter so much. We had a baby. Like, oh yeah, we just had a baby. It's like, there's so much, like, life is so overwhelmed, like you can miss that part. And I really felt that Ronald McDonald House carried our burdens so we could carry our baby.
When we would come back from the hospital, when we come back to the house, the staff would often, if not always, say, how's your baby doing? I remember the day that Clayton was discharged from the hospital and the staff took us out front for our going home photo. Without having family close by, that meant so much to me. I felt seen. With our doctors assuring us that it would be safe, we've had 3 more children, a set of twins, William and Josiah, and then most recently, Elijah. Both of those pregnancies did end up having complications, and we are so grateful that on both of those occasions, the house was there for us. There's so much to our story. It wasn't simple getting pregnant, and then it wasn't simple staying pregnant, and every part of the puzzle has been difficult and a struggle, and so it's helped me value my children even more, in recognizing what a blessing they are, what a gift they are, and what a miracle they are, because there's been so much that's had to happen to bring them to us. We just went on a family vacation all together, and that was our first real family vacation with all 4 of the boys, and that is a dream come true. We would say a huge thank you to everyone who has donated money, donated resources, time, the volunteers that come to make meals. You are invaluable, and you have meant the world to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.